suspect still at large at this hour in yesterday's shooting death of 19-year-old George Ramos.
San Antonio police say he was gunned down in a Ford Expedition that wound up crashing into a vacant gas station near Culebra and Loop 1604. Jessie Degollado now with what she's learned about the young man who was murdered.
Welcome back to another episode of DAS, Death After Sports, with your boy, Sean Mack. And today we're here to discuss the pain of a mother, the pain of a community that's lost a loved one, and no answers are coming to fruition to solve this crime. So we're going to help out in any way that we can. San Antonio boxer George Ramos, who was taken out on June 20th of 2019. It's been 5 years later, and his mother, Jessica, is still searching for answers and searching for the killer or killers of her son. So like I said, we're going to help out in any capacity that we can. I'm going to give you some information, and if you know anything, please hit up the tip line. I'll give that information out a little later. This is a tale of a mother's love run deeper than the depths of the ocean, and I would know my mother loved me to death. So remember, if you like today's content, make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the video. So let's go. The San Antonio Police Department and County Crime Stoppers are asking the public for help again in solving the murder of an 18-year-old boxer who was killed in 2019. Crime Stoppers is offering a reward of up to $5,000 for the tips that lead to a felony arrest in this case, according to their website. George Ramos Jr., 18, was found shot to death on June 20th of 2019 inside an SUV at a vacant Shell gas station on Culebra Road. Officials say he was found with multiple gunshot wounds. Police said witnesses reported seeing a black man, aged 19 to 25 years old, between 5'8" and 5'11", and weighing approximately 150 pounds, leave the SUV Ramos was found in and entered a red four-door sedan to flee. The offer for tips were released on June 28, a little over 5 years after Ramos was murdered, and 6 years since his last professional boxing win.
He wasn't afraid to work, super athletic, super bright kid. It's a huge loss for the boxing community.
Boxing since he was a boy of 10, George Ramos went on to become a local boxer. Here's a photo of Ramos with his dad after one of his last boxing matches. His boxing coach says not only was Ramos well known in the boxing community, he also worked with kids who are now having a tough time with what's happened.
He connected with these kids because he knew what it took to become a champion. The belts speak for themselves. The hard work speaks for itself. Him turning professional blew the roof off of here.
At the time of his death, Ramos was off to a successful start to his professional boxing career. He won 2 bouts as a professional in San Antonio. He won his debut by unanimous decision on June 23rd of 2018 and won by KO later that year on December 1st. Ramos' amateur career debut was on January 5th of 2016, and he went 3-3. This statement is from George's mother, Jessica. Quote, "He was a blessing to all of us. He was very outgoing, great personality. He loved his family," end quote, said Jessica. Here's another statement from Jessica to the witness that never stepped forward yet. Quote, "I know you're scared, but to the person who saw them and can ID them, I know you're the only one left in this puzzle who can get justice for my son George," end quote. Sad, sad. As they say, a parent should never bury a child. A child shall always bury a parent, but it doesn't go that way in this strange life and strange world that we live in, right? Things happen. I have 3 things here we're going to talk about. I also have the number for the Crime Stoppers if anybody have any information about this case. Remember, if you like today's content, make sure you share, like, and subscribe to the video and hit up the notifications so we be in your notifications when we drop our videos. Excuse me. Number 1. After going over this case and watching it and learning about it and hearing about it and studying it, George had to know this person. because the witness said that they saw a black male leave the SUV George was found deceased in. So a random person wouldn't be in your car, right? They didn't rob him of anything. It's not like anything was missing or anything was out of place in that car that we know of. They might be keeping that close to the chest, so it's information that only the killer would know, suspects or killers would know. Like I said, you wouldn't randomly let a stranger into your car, so obviously he knew him. Now, why was he there? It seemed like it would be pretty easy for these cops and detectives to find that out. Who was with him? How many people did he know? Check his phone, see what his last phone call was, and certain things like that. It seems like they're doing the best that they can. I'm not trying to slight them and say they're not doing the investigation properly, but 5 years later and they haven't come up with more suspects. Actually, if you didn't know, someone was actually arrested and charged for this murder, but subsequently he was released because they didn't have evidence. I would keep a close eye on him or his friends and see can he slip up possibly, right? So someone that he knew was definitely inside of that car. The whole thing is, why were they there? Number two, is it possible that George was into something that his family members wasn't aware of? I think that could be possible. You put me at 18 years old. There's things that I've done and things that I did that to this day my mother doesn't know about. And if she did find out about it, I'm a 40-something-year-old man. She would probably retroactively give me an ass whooping. Like this day, her and my father would probably whip my ass behind it. So what I'm saying is, there's things that we do as teenagers and young adults that our parents don't know about. So back to square one, why was that guy there? Obviously he knew him. So was it a money deal? Was it a drug deal? Could be a weed deal. Could be something real insignificant. Did he owe him money? Did he owe him money? And they got into a conversation about it. Or like a lot of these cases that I do, was it about a woman? Was it about a girl? You never know. But that's something that you have to keep in mind. And as a parent, I would have that in the back of my mind, because I know my son was good. He did this and that, but I'd be like, maybe it's something that he was into that he didn't tell us about. And that's where it gets a little tricky and it gets a little muddy. It muddies up the water and you don't quite know what was going on at that time. But it's definitely possible that young George Ramos was into something that his family just didn't know about. And that's what happened that day. But you have the guy that hopped out of the car and got into another car, a red 4-door sedan, they say. Find that sedan. You find that sedan, you find the killer. Not sure why they can't find that car with all those cameras. This is 2019. We still under the surveillance state. At that time, it's just got a little bit more worse now in 2024. But they had cameras at stop signs. They had cameras here. Another thing that drew my attention: why were they at a abandoned Shell station? Put myself in them shoes. Yo, pick me up over here. Meet me over here. Yeah, where you want to meet? At the abandoned Shell station. Let's, exchange whatever we got to exchange or talk about whatever we got to talk about. But it should be pretty easy to just trace that area with cameras and find out. Now it's too late, but they should have done it back then. I'm going to let you on out of here. Number 3, I want to get the word out. If anyone has information about this case, please contact Crime Stoppers on their website or call 210-224-7867 or text tips 127 to 274-637. Be patient. I'll go over it again. Any information that needs to be given, please contact the Crime Stoppers on their website or call 210-224-7867 or text tips 127 to 274-637. And I'm gonna get on out of here. My final message to all: a lot of people don't like to help the law enforcement with situations like this, But remember, you know, they call him a snitch or this, and or you're a rat, you're this. But remember this. But remember, if it was your son, cousin, friend, or loved one, wouldn't you want someone to help you out? And on that note, I've been Sean Mack, and this is Death After Sports. George Ramos.